Hello, friends. I'm Jonathan Pishner with Apex Counseling, and today we're addressing more concepts for couples. Although this is a communication idea, so this can really be used for anything, but I use it mostly for couples and love relationships. So, today what we're talking about is in communication, the difference between concepts and behaviors. Because to really be able to communicate well with a love partner, you have to be able to do both. And if you are missing one or the other, this is where couples communication really breaks down really quite easily. So I'm going to give some examples and some fairly popular examples from my work with couples counseling. So, a very common request, no matter how it's worded, from one partner to another is the idea of show me you care. Because usually, if a love relationship is starting to not do well, at some point somebody will make a bid for attention, a bid for the partner to please just demonstrate that you care about me. And no matter how it's worded, that's usually the concept that is being discussed. So the problem with that is that if a person is disconnected from how their partner can experience that caring, behavior wise, if I receive the request, show me you care, I might make up that I should spend time with you. And maybe that's right, or maybe it's not. Maybe I might make up that you want me to buy you gifts. Maybe I would make up that you want me to wash the dishes for you or do some other domestic chore. All of which are good possibilities. But here's what happens to a lot of people. They request or they receive the request, but they guess wrong what the behavior is. And so they get no credit whatsoever because that's not what their spouse had in mind. So let's make up a fake heterosexual couple. We'll have Mary and Bob. So if Mary says something like, show me you care, and Bob is not sure what behavior that means, it just makes it up, then he might be like, well, let me buy you some jewelry. That's a nice stereotypical gift for couples. But if Mary was really hoping he would share in the domestic chores and he comes home with a gift, not only has he expended energy thinking that he's about to get, credit and prizes and things are going to go well, it's actually going to go even worse because he didn't understand the behavior that was being asked for, and Mary didn't understand to specify the behavior being asked for. This is such a common problem within couples. So if we replay that and we allowed one partner to do it more skillfully, let's say Mary says, I need to know you care. And Bob, who knows the idea of knowing both concepts and behaviors, says, okay, what would let you know that I care? What behavior can I do to show that? Because boy, I sure care, but I want to make sure that I'm doing the thing you're asking for. What would help you know that? And then a lot of times, you don't even have to say the word behavior. A lot of times, Mary would figure out like, oh, more specifically, please do the dishes. And now Bob is much more set up for success. Now, either person can do this. It can be the initiator of the communication, or it can be the person receiving it who asks clarifying questions. That part really doesn't matter. Hopefully, at some point, both sides of the couple get really, really, really good at this. So if one person misses it and messes up, the other person can pick up the slack. But let's do it in reverse. Let's say, and let's continue to have Mary be the requester. Let's say she does the opposite and requests a specific behavior. Let's say Bob works a lot. Will you please come home earlier? 12-hour days, is just too much. Will you please come home after 10 hours at work? Mary's request is a specific behavior. Now, if Bob is wise, he'll ask, what is that behavior request about? Because, maybe he can do it, maybe he can't, but it's really good to know what is the underlying problem. So if he was to say, okay, what is it that's the problem with me working? What's the thing that is hurtful to you? then Mary might say, well, I just feel so lonely without you here, or I feel like you don't care about me, or I feel like work is more important. All of these are concepts now. And so that puts Bob in a great position because I don't know, maybe he can't always get away from work. Maybe he has a terrible boss, or maybe he runs his own business and just eats up his time. Who knows? But then especially if he can't fulfill the behavior request, if he can say, well, look, that one would be really challenging. But if you want me to show you that I am really interested in you, you want me to be less lonely and you want more time with me, can I do this other behavior? Like, okay, I can't come home any earlier from work on the days I work, but what if I set aside a 4-hour block on Saturday for us to just go do stuff and really spend time and be in connection and enjoy ourselves? Would that be a behavior that would help meet that same idea? Now there's a lot more ability to talk about, if that one thing can't happen, how else can I meet your need? Or if he can meet the need, then fine. But why not get extra credit? Well, okay, yeah, you're feeling lonely. What if I come home from work early and we also go do something extensive on Saturdays and whatever else? So this is a few little snippets and examples, but it's really meant to show how important it is to be able to communicate with both sides, with the concept, the underlying idea, and the specific behaviors that are being requested. Well, here's what will happen most of the time. Most people will request a specific behavior and they won't communicate the underlying concept, and they may not even really understand within themselves what the underlying concept is. It puts the partner that's having a request made of them in a tough position because they may not fully understand what's being asked for, and they may not be able to contribute to it as much as they could if they understood the whole picture. However, I have had couples where it's exactly the other side. They communicate only in the concepts, but the specific behaviors are never asked for. It'll be like, show me you care. But then even within the counseling context, we'll say what specific behaviors would show that. And it takes a lot of work to bring that out. So you can have a partner who's trying to conceptually meet the idea, but they keep not getting the right behaviors. And the partner can sometimes have difficulty even saying what those are. So this is why it's important for both sides of the couple to be able to communicate both things: the concept, the underlying thing they're searching for, and the specific behaviors that give them that. So if you're the person who often has requests made of you, here's your action item. Whichever one the person is asking for, ask about the other thing. Hey, pursue me more. If you receive that request, then your job would be to ask, okay, what behaviors would show that I'm pursuing you? Do you want me to initiate sex more? Do you want me to take you on dates? Oh, wait, do you want me to take you on dates, or do you want me to plan dates? Those are kind of two different behaviors. Do those matter if I'm pursuing you? And it lets you ask intelligent questions if you're the person receiving the request. If you're the person giving the request, and you're often the person giving the request, your action item would be just try and communicate both right up front and say, hey, I really want you to show that you are interested in me and that you're pursuing me. And here are the 3 behaviors that would really let me know that you're doing that. Because then if your spouse or your love partner can say yes to the behaviors, great. But if they can't, it puts them in a position to maybe be able to come up with something else that they can give that still meets that. Okay, well, I can't pursue you this way right now because of whatever difficulty. But what if I pursued you this way? Would this still be okay? That would be a wonderful conversation to start. Not a lot of couples know to have that conversation in that way. So hopefully this is helpful to you today. Some people will be able to take this and work with it immediately. Some people will need a skilled couples counselor to help them deepen this and make it work for their relationship. So, but for those who can get benefit today, wonderful. And if you need to get in with a skilled couples counselor, find either one with our practice or find somebody out there who will be glad to help you. But either way, thank you for listening to me for a minute. I'm Jonathan Pishner with Apex Counseling, and I will see you next time.